Week 3 and 4 is a combined week, and this is a movie for what is due for week 3 and 4, and most everything is due, if not everything is due, at the end of week 4. Week 4, if you look right here, is 9/19, so September 19th is when everything is due. Let's go right to the module. So you're clicking this third item down, you're getting right to the light burst, vanishing point, filters, didn't say that right, but module. And what I want to do is to show you right away what is due. So as always, let's go into our syllabus right here, and what is due for week 3 and 4 are the finish files for these 4 assignments. Okay, and I'll show you they are short assignments, so don't panic, and you're going to actually love them. And please be as creative as you can. So let me go down to week 3 and 4 here, and you can see, just check off this list one at a time. Okay, it tells you exactly when everything is due. All right, and here it's wanting you to review all of the MP4 movies. So use this, all right, as your checkoff. So I'm going to go to the assignment guide, and here is exactly what is due. So you need to turn in a PSD file without the name Brian. You can use your name, and I'll show you mine, the actual PSD file. Here is the filter exercise, which uses neon clock. I'll show you that in a second. Light burst, which uses polar coordinates to make light burst actually have the light burst effect, the ray effect. Then we're going to take that file and turn it into the 3D aspect using Photoshop's 3D capability. And then there's another filter in Photoshop called Vanishing Point. And I want you guys to learn about Vanishing Point, because bending text into perspective like this is extremely quick and accurate. So that's what's due for week 3 and 4, all right, at the end of week 4. So let's put this on my other screen, and let's go right to, do I want to do this? Yeah, minimize it. So let me minimize this. And now I have set up kind of a quick thing here to show you what is due and what the files are. Okay, so in some cases I will click on them, all right. So the very first thing that I have here is the original to the filter exercise. And what I want to do is just tap this. So you can see it's just a simple JPEG file with a fire hydrant. And what you're going to turn it into is something fun. And then I really want you to know the difference between opacity and fill. And if you can't tell me that, and you're in advanced Photoshop, then you better watch this assignment. And this assignment goes through a whole process of using the neon glow filter. But, and here's the important thing, understanding how to get millions of color combinations, not just hundreds of color combinations. And without letting that go, because I want you to watch the actual tutorial, okay, it has to do with the colors that are in Photoshop and are in the tool palette. So please watch it. It's fun. You can be extremely creative. And I want to show you an update. I want to actually start that. When you're doing this, I want you to learn how to save what's called your ACO files in Photoshop. And the way that I describe it to you in my filter movie they changed it for Photoshop 2021. So there is a supplemental movie that I want you to watch, and I'll show you where that is in the module, so you know how to save your ACO colors. Why is that important? I'll tell you in a little bit, okay? And there is a very quick light burst assignment guide. It's just a text file to show you what, so you can actually check off the text file. So print it out and then check it off and watch the movie. You have to watch the movie, because I say things in the movie that aren't in here. And if you want to be creative and you want to have a control over your creativity, please read this as I'm doing it, and then you do it, and you can make as many notes as you want on this just to let your creativity abound. Okay, the next thing is we're going to go right into there's the original light burst. That's mine. I don't want you to choose a rounded typeface. I say that in the movie, but please choose a rather thick square typeface. See how each letter pretty much has a square 90-degree corner. Okay, so please make sure that you don't choose too thin of a typeface. Definitely not a scrolly script typeface. Make sure it's like Helvetica or Arial Bold or Impact or whatever. You don't have to choose the typeface that I'm using, but we're going to turn that into a 3D version, as you can see on the screen there, and then we go into the vanishing point. So you take these files that I give you, 1, 2, that's an Illustrator file, and it is text. Okay, and I show you how to actually bring it from Illustrator into Photoshop and into the filter. All right, the vanishing point filter. So you're going to take those 4 elements right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and place them on that box. And what I want you to do is to learn it. And if you mess up, well, you can email me and download, upload, whatever you want to say, attach your PSD file, and I will help you, but try it a couple times first. Okay, and carefully watch each step in the tutorial, because it's kind of fun to do this, especially if you're a designer who wants to have the capability of doing packaging and show your comp to your PSD comp to the client before it's even attempted to be put into finish art. So there's so much to have from this week that I want you to just have some fun. Okay, my phone is going to ding again. I don't know who that is. Anyway, let me view it by list now. Whoops. Let me view it by list. Okay, so we are going to go into my filter exercise, and I want to describe a couple of things to you while this is opening. As I said in, let me hit the F key here. As I said, in the layer palette, there, and let me click on any layer, there is an opacity and there's a fill, and both are at 100%. And I can't tell you how many people make the mistake of dropping the fill when they should be dropping the opacity, or dropping the opacity when they should be dropping the fill. And you have to watch the movie to understand. Now, I'm going to show you something over here in this palette, in this tool palette, and I bet I'm not going to put any money on this, of course, but I bet that you don't know how to make the filters up here in Photoshop be extremely powerful. All of these filters, not only in the filter gallery, but all of these filters here in artistic, brush, distort, sketch, stylize, and texture are dependent on something. And you have to do that something prior to entering the filter. So I want you to know what that is. And this is what my bet is. My bet is that most of you didn't understand how much power that you actually have, and that you ignored what I'm going to say in the movie. In all the times you've ever used the filters, you've ignored something, and that something is in this tool palette. Okay, so please watch it, and then don't forget at the end you have to type your name, and then you have to answer these 2 questions that are in the file. So I want to know by you answering it right there and right there. And let me turn this off here. See how you can actually click this, hit the text tool, and start typing. So there's Brian's names, and then there's the difference right there. So I want you to actually type what the difference is right in the file. Okay, and then you can do, some students did many of these. All right, now let me not save this and go to the next one. So the next one is, this is the saving the ACO file. Hi all, I want to show you an update to how to save your swatches. versus 2019 version. Now, why is that important? And let me, I should bring up the Photoshop file again, and for only one reason. And this again, this is just to get you started in the week. I'm not talking about the exercise, but I want you to hear something. If you take your PSD file, and let's say that you've gone into Swatches, I just want you to be aware of something as you're going ahead in this application and in your career. You could have a whole series of swatches that are the main swatches that you have on any machine. Okay? What I'm trying to say is, let's say you make custom swatches that are like these. And now you take your file to a client's building computer or to another computer, and you open up the PSD file and your swatches are not there. And you wonder, well, geez, I saved my custom swatches. Where are they? And I'm here to tell you that Photoshop does not bring the swatches with you. Illustrator does. Okay? For some reason, they didn't let Photoshop do it. So you have to actually save an ACO file. And then when you go to the clients, not only do you bring your PSD file, but you bring your ACO file. And then you go over here and you actually go down to import swatches. And what do you import? You import the ACO swatches. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you real quick here. If I were to click this one and shift click this one, I could go over to here now and export selected swatches. Now watch the button that comes up. Do you see this? ACO, Adobe Color Swatches. That's the appendage right there. ACO. You name your ACO file. So you would name this, if it were me, I'd say this is Brian's Filter Colors. And then it becomes married with this file. Now, again, I'm not saying this because it sounds like I want to prove that you don't know stuff, but you don't know stuff. I bet you not many of you knew that the colors don't come with you if you've made custom colors in Photoshop and you go to a different computer, like from home to school, you don't have your colors there. And that's very irritating. Okay, so let me close this and not save that. And I believe that I have covered everything. I just want you to make sure, let me go back to here, let me go back to the module. I just want to make sure that you know that here is the tutorial movie for filters, okay? Here is the Dropbox, and remember, you can submit as many times as you want to that Dropbox if you have mistakes. And there's a summary. So for each assignment, there's a summary. Here's the light burst assets. Okay, here's the filter assets up here. Here's the light burst assets, and here's the vanishing point assets zip file. You see them on my machine right here? I have all three on my desktop because that's where they downloaded to. And inside all of them are the files that you need. So those 4 files for vanishing point, if I double click this and I open it up, there are your 4 files or 5 files that you need. Okay, so let me close that and let me right hand click and trash that, and then I can open it up again if I want. So don't not watch this ACO color file movie. So before you watch the filter assignment movie, please watch how to save the swatches. Okay, and then ignore in this movie how I tell you to save the swatches. Do you understand? So I'm going to tell you the wrong way. I'm going to tell you the 2019 and earlier version way, or 2020 and earlier version way. I found out that in 2021, of course, the wonderful Photoshop engineers changed the method. Aren't they lovely? So here is the Dropbox for Light Burst Part 1 and the discussion summary. That's just the regular light burst. That's this light burst right there. And then the light burst 3D, let me move that back over if I can find out how. Where did I put it? Oh, it's over here. Okay, so the light burst 3D movie is here, the light burst 3D assignment Dropbox, and the discussion summary. So I think you've got it. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead one last time and say goodbye. Here are your 4 files that you need to submit to me by Sunday at the end of week 4, which in this case is September 19th. I'll see you in the next movie.